we just eat through the front line. There's not enough of a front line for them to stop us, right? So it's now pushing forward. We're pushing straight through. Now we're back here onto the back end. Hey there, folks. It's the Caffeinated Dad coming back with another match. This one I'm playing Tezzy, as I've grown to call him from the Aztecs. Now, Tezzy tends to be kind of like a middle ground, more myth unit facing, I would say, more than anything, but does a lot really, really well. And I like the upgrades for the defensive towers and the traps and all that, and especially when you go into the first classic god of Hui Hui. He will always be Hui Hui in my mind, truth be told. So opening up, this is after the update, so they've added a little bit more wood to the stockpile for Aztecs just because the cow pulleys were very expensive, and it made it very difficult to have enough cow pulley or enough wood to put near the wild hunt as well as the gold mine. It kind of always puts you behind. So starting out, pretty standard movement in that sense. I go for the huge upgrade. I try to get as many of these goats as I can. I try to snatch them all up. Play Pokemon with these guys just because I like Ghost Lake this map is like perfect for that. Absolutely perfect. Yeah, so I mean Ghost Lake is all about the sheep really early on. I mean there's lots of good food. It's one of those maps where you try to play like almost a little aggressive, or about as aggressive as you can. So he's already got his temple. I'm moving in that way. I'm already getting my stuff. Doing a pretty good job. Actually, I would expect better scouting. He immediately goes into the Vault of Erebus, which again, for Hades, that's a very cheap thing. It's only 200 wood, in comparison to anything else, 200 wood and 15 favor, which doesn't stop you from getting into the classic age, which he's still trying to get to. In my mind, I think that was a little bit of an aggressive play, but anyway, he's going into the Athena. We are going into Hui Hui because Hui Hui is very good on traps. I get my warrior priest out and we are cooking. One thing that I've done every time that I get into the classic age is to get another spy. I get another spy and I just place them near the settlements, and especially against the Hades. Especially against Hades, who love to go into that 2TC almost immediately, and just go from there. It just always ends up being kind of a pain. My warrior priest over here trying to fight him, trying to throw hands. So he's going into Athena, and he's got his Minotaur out. I've already got a war hut. I got my spearmen rolling out, and we're just getting ready into it. I've already got these guys posted. I have this one posted here because when his line of sight expands, he can see anyone that's going to be heading off over to that. I move my units. I get my spearmen to move over there because I'm anticipating something to happen here, right? I'm anticipating that. I use my dark mirror to go ahead and get, or my obsidian mirror to get the sentinel, and just kind of how I predicted, he's immediately moving into a settlement after I've already been over here. So there's very little that I can do to stop this appropriately. I use the stoppage right there to go ahead and be able to try to get over there. But I mean, it's over in 5 seconds. There wasn't going to be anything that I could do, and I just have to be understanding that that's just going to be what it is. He's just going to be able to get that, and I can't do anything because I took a fight right over here, probably where I shouldn't have. So I'm watching here, and I'm like, all right, well, if he's going to be doing that, he's probably not going to have a whole lot of resources in this sense. Actually, he has quite a bit of gold and quite a bit of wood. So, and he's already getting into his Toxotes, using that heavy front line. Ajax and Achilles are very beefy. Use the Minotaurs, very beefy. So to like really just focusing on that aggressive front, so to speak. And I come in with my warrior priests up front and all that, and I wait. And I wait until I am like right on top, and then I start hitting everyone. We get 2 or 3 villager kills. 2. We lose a warrior priest because he ends up taking that front line damage. So he moves his units, but he takes kind of the long way. So we're just gonna run away. He's putting his Catascopus right up front, which I don't necessarily suggest. But if I don't stem him or slow him down, he is going to have a huge economic lead, and I'm not really going to be able to compete as much. You see, he's already going into his watchtower. So I'm like, all right, I need to probably change up a few things. So I just use these I used the archers to pick off the one guy, the one villager that was there, knowing that he's probably off over here doing something, and he doesn't have the line of sight, and his Toxicities are still going. I get a handful of the coyote warriors. They're already on medium. I'm getting a warrior priest. I'm going to beef up this military, and because his economy is just going to absolutely slander me. So I take the long route because I just want to protect this gold mine, because that would be, I have eyes on this one over here, and these guys are just kind of hanging out. So I'm like, all right, I'm just going to poke my head in there. My spy is still over here, can still see everything. I decide, you know what? All right, I got to be on a second TC as well. He has no idea. He doesn't have any idea what I'm doing, or he's just focusing purely on his game and his focus, we'll say. He's got a decent amount of Toxicities. He's got 8 Toxicities and just that front line right there. But he's going for his economic upgrades. I am looking to get Heroic Age. I'm like, all right, because I know that once I get into the Heroic Age, I'm going to have a lot better time dealing with all of this, and dealing with these guys. So I get, it's a Papa, even though the Obsidian Butterflies have been nerfed, so to speak, since their last time through. I was just like, I need to have that kind of movement. I need to have that kind of, we'll say, aggression that I can put out. So unfortunately, my spy doesn't see this here, but I have this built, and I have a sinking feeling that he's over here. I have a sinking feeling that he's somewhere in this area doing something. I get the marketplace. Marketplace is over there. I'm starting to get some of the upgrades right there. I build a trap over here, a spike trap with these guys just watching, just in case. Right, so I go ahead and get the upgrades into the Heroic Age. I get the Obsidian Butterfly. I have the Noble's Hut, and I immediately go for the Obsidian Butterfly upgrade, which gives them 10% speed. Their charged attack does an extra 10 damage. It's pretty decent, actually. So at this point, he's right here, and I know that he has this large, relatively large force. How many is there? 16 units. So that's fine. I go ahead and use the Sentinel God Power at that same time to protect this, because I'm not worried that this is going to fall, so to speak. I'm not worried about that. Do I even move back? Oh, I guess I kind of do. Oh, yeah. So I was worried. So I put this in. I use the Purge on the Toxicities. They don't get out in time. And now it's just his front line. And Purge is just so strong. So strong. So we have the Obsidian Butterfly. And these guys just move so fast. I mean, I think even Achilles can't really run away. The Jackal or the Coyote Warriors catch them. I immediately take the Obsidian Butterflies because I'm looking to hit this. He's got 21 people over there. 21. So I go for the reach, Tepeyolo's reach, which really does a number on the Ocelot Warriors, and I believe it also does Jaguar. Yeah, Jaguar Riders. So here comes the Obsidian Butterflies, and it's just about timing, right? So you wait until they get nice and close. You do the one, and apparently the bleed damage doesn't. Oh, I guess it does kind of stack. But these guys are just able to sit here and just wreck face, and they get 5 or 6, 7 villager kills right there. And he has to send over Achilles. Achilles is the only one who would be even relatively close fast enough to catch him, right? And even at that, Achilles really isn't all that fast. 5'3" for someone on a horse. I would expect better. So these guys are over here, and he's got his units. While these attacks are going off, I'm poking my head in to get what damage I can. And again, I'm just looking for containment because, again, he still has about a 15 villager lead on me, and he's going into Apollo, right? He's already pre-queued Apollo, and that just went through. But he has 3,000 wood. Holy crap. I mean, I can't really speak. I have 1,400 food, so to speak, so... Achilles comes in and he's doing his thing, and this butterfly is like taking a lot of damage, and this is not where I want to be. So I have this one Obsidian Butterfly. I'm banking that he isn't going to be able to macro or micro as best as possible. So I have these guys running over. I have this little group of units being able to stop, but again, he can't be in 2 places at once. So I have them just murking what we can, getting what damage we can, right? At the same time, I know that he sees this and he's like, oh, I should probably move over there and, you know, like try to stop them and try to do some damage. So I just micro the butterflies away. At the same time, I'm sneaking around. I was trying to find an opening back here and to see where I can go and to see what I can do. And it's like right here, I was able to find some villagers, an opening, I should say. There goes one. There goes two, three. Again, stifle that economy, stifle that as best I can. The Chinook is back there just doing Chinook things. I have all of this going on. We hit the gold mines. They can't really get anywhere. And I have no doubt in my mind that this is going to be basically sacrificial at that point. It's going to be basically sacrificial, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. There was no escape. He's moving out some more of his units. And again, he's just, it's constantly bouncing back and forth. But at this time, I've gone ahead and gotten several nobles' huts, and I'm just basically training Ocelot warriors right out the gate. And again, Ocelot warriors are very strong. Even though he has Toxides, they're not massively strong, we'll say. They're not like super duper strong. Immediately coming over. Here's Achilles. So I go ahead and I send in this frontline unit to go ahead and deal with them, right? And once we get the kill on Achilles, like, okay, cool, whatever. We're going to move through. Now, they don't have anything over here. And now he's forced to move his units over here. That's the thing. What a lot of the times Hades players do is that they'll have a relatively weak front line and then just have a whole mess of Toxotes and then Manticore. Now, again, they have the heroes, so the heroes do quite a bit of damage. And I don't see this going up at this time, but now I am mass training, I should say, a whole bunch of Ocelot warriors and going from there. He's going for, I think that was the Manticore upgrade? No, it's just a standard Manticore. But I don't see that he is here on this regard doing this fortress. Unfortunately, my spy dies because here comes Chiron. And that right there stifles any kind of attack that I was planning on doing with my butterflies. I see this group of units over here, and I was like, I don't want to fight that quite yet. So I see this. I am waiting on the wood, I think is what I was doing. But I also get obsidian napping, and then I auto queue some of the Ocelot warriors should be coming out so that the Ocelot warriors just flat out deal much more damage. What's it? They already do 28 damage each hit, which is phenomenal. I mean, that is just a lot of damage. I go ahead and put out the Great Temple, which builds in about 10 seconds just because I have the resources. Why not? So I'm training a whole bunch of these guys. The obsidian napping goes through, increasing all damage, right? That's what I'm trying to do. But here's this fight, right? I see him poking his head right there. Immediately, I'm training Jaguar warriors. Jaguar riders, excuse me. Jaguar riders. Oh, I got population capped. Oh, that's embarrassing. So I have these girls running over here, and they are just dealing what damage they can. Spin to win, spin to win. It doesn't stack, so it would be better suited if I queued those up appropriately and instead of just spamming them, right? That probably would have done better. So the Jaguar Rider is here, and the Jaguar Rider deals so much damage. So much damage. But I take this opportunity to just push in and attack here. What I didn't realize was on the back end, he had already moved over here. But even though these guys are hitting pretty hard, I mean, how many? They have 3 projectiles, each dealing 11 damage. We just eat through the front line. There's not enough of a front line for them to stop us, right? So it's now pushing forward. We're pushing straight through. Now we're back here onto the back end, right? I'm still auto-queuing on the back end, the Ocelot warriors. You need to have a front line to be able to protect these. So he immediately goes into towers, right? He's building out towers and trying to protect that. I have the obsidian butterflies moving on to the back end. How to be a jerk in different languages, I don't know. So we're just here on the back end. We have a whole bunch of Ocelot warriors. I'm getting some kills over here onto the villagers. I have now passed him in villagers. I'm surpassed the villager lead, so to speak. And unfortunately, the butterflies go down because I wasn't paying attention in the micro by Achilles. Unfortunately. I don't like this push. We're kind of like in an awkward position, even though I'm getting decent kills on just about everything. I got some Shorn ones coming in. I have a Smasher coming in, right? Like, I'm recruiting what I can. That's good. That's kind of what I need to do. But the problem is that I did not move appropriately. Oh man, that mouse. I did not move through appropriately and get rid of the unit producing buildings, right? So I have these Ocelot warriors. They come over and just immediately like 3-shot this. But now they're getting pegged at by the Sentinels, which got a boost in the next stage. So I'm just kind of in an awkward position. So yeah, here comes the Titsamitl. Not good right here against Ajax, who's just standing there waiting for the spawn, which is funny because it then spawns another obsidian shard. So I pull back because I don't like the constant hammering. I have my backup units. I got some Eagle Warriors rolling onto the back end. We're getting the heavy upgrades. Things started to heat up. This is going to be our point of contention. This is where we're going to be moving forward. On his end, just taking a look, on his end, he has so many. I guess he has about as much as me. But he's lost quite a few villagers. Even though he had the 2 TC lead, I have now caught up to him as far as it goes with the amount of units. Now, this engagement was a little bit better because I have now, how many Eagle Warriors? I have like 15 Eagle Warriors. I have the upgraded hero, or the upgraded warrior priest, and he's just going to do damage. He's just going to not one-shot villagers? I would expect more. That is so little damage. Only 12 damage. Gotta boost that. Chiron goes down because I'm spamming Eagle Warriors on the background. I switch back over to the Ocelot Warriors, and they're just able to peg through and to work through. I have a front line of units, and it looks like he's trying to build a tower. Another tower right there. Just using tower. We gotta get some siege up in this. Yeah, smashers. Yeah, get them smashers. Get them smashers. Get them ready to roll. I see that this gold mine is getting ready to go. And I'm like, I gotta go over here, I gotta build here, and I gotta get this TC. That's gonna be my next play. I've played aggressive enough that I have not only this TC down here, but here I'm gonna be up to 4 TC. The thing is now, he doesn't have any units to back it, and he still has a bunch of resources. The thing is that I don't know what was taking so long. He's getting a whole bunch of Peletosts, which the Peletosts should do pretty decent damage against the Eagle Warriors, but the thing is that there's so many Eagle Warriors here, and they already do extra damage, so it's anti-archer against anti-archer, essentially. He tries to get this town center. The traps work. The archers from the beginning work. Great migration over here. But the thing is that, like, I didn't play this smart, and actually I'm gonna call myself out here. It would have been smarter for me to take this entire area over here. That would have been the smarter move. Just because then I could have stemmed this. I could have stopped a lot of the gold because that is his only, he has 13 over here. This is his only gold producing area. Now he has the Vault of Erebus, which is great. I could have played that a lot better. On my end, I'm just constantly pumping out units. We're just pumping them out. What's it? I got all these Ocelot Warriors coming. We're getting on this gold mine, which I have 30. I have 30 people here. I pull back because I'm like, we need to fight this smartly. And not just keep throwing units into the meat grinder is basically what it is. So I'm also getting heavy shorn ones. I like heavy shorn ones. They hit incredibly hard, which is fantastic. But again, we kind of take a moment to just upgrade everything and kind of make sure that we're good to go. But then I make the smart move to finally actually say, hey, let me just go over here and get rid of all of this gold. Eat into his gold reserve right here because he can't produce any more units without gold, right? You need to have gold to be able to do that. 16 Ocelot Warriors, 9 Eagle Warriors, and a couple of shorn or smashers, and a shorn one somewhere in there. Do I have a shorn one? Yeah, I have one shorn one. Look at me go. But the idea is here is now I've stopped his main gold production, and then he goes over here. We have the archer here. And the archer is just standing there and pushes them away because now he doesn't have any kind of gold. And now he realizes that he's lost here. He's going to have to move off somewhere. He's going to have to move off somewhere to stem this, to slow this down. So I go and take some of his unit producing buildings. He's got a whole bunch of archers on the back end. He's just doing Toxotes and then Prodemos, which again, counter cavalry really isn't that bad. That isn't really that good. So we get through some of this, and I'm like, pull back. Because now I'm going to be like, all right, I got to stop this. I have an Ocelot Warrior over here. I have a smoke trap, which isn't really doing much. But I still have pretty decent vision over here. I can still kind of see what's happening. But I'm like, I need to be able to defend this because I know that that's where he's going to be. I have a couple of Jaguar riders. And things kind of taper off here for a second. But I get the settlement, and we're building the settlement. And he's sending over more units, which I don't know necessarily if that's the best play, but He goes, or I'm going into Exotol, which is the Mythic Age god. I go ahead and start throwing up all this. I believe I see this coming at one point, and I realize that it's probably best. No, I don't. I don't see this coming. Gotta have more scouts. Gotta have more visibility. But I have the Jaguar Riders over here, and I'm just like, all right, go do your thing. Bam, bam. And they go in and they start attack. At the same time, I'm getting an attack over on this side. So I just need this to last like 30 more seconds. So I think I pull all these guys. Do I pull all these guys? I don't know. I'm pretty sure I get this finished. 20 seconds. 20 seconds to stop the town center, right? That's the play. He needed to rush over here and to stop all these guys, right? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're in town center. And no problem. And now we're able to fight this. Now we're able to push this back. And now the main contingent of the army has come back. I have a handful of Jaguar Riders on the back. I'm still mass producing Ocelot Warriors. I am at cap. It's just swayed. It's just constant pressure. Constant pressure. So for some reason my units get split up, and this was just a very bad split. I don't know what happened. I got too distracted over here. I have the Jaguar Riders, which again, 46% damage reduction on what do you call it? 46% damage reduction there. I don't know. I could have played that a lot better. So I lay out the Corrupted Ground, which goes ahead and weans off a lot of these units. It pushes them back, starts summoning these little changeling guys. I have a bunch of warrior priests coming through, and they just chip right through all this, and we're able to just push this back. On the same vein, we're taking the Jaguar Rider straight to the heart, and I'm just like, kill as many villagers as you can. Push the lead even further. Push it. You can do this. At the same time, I'm also getting Twisted Limbs, which allows them to jump even further to make them even stronger. And now we have more Jaguar Riders on the back, Ocelot Warriors being produced at rate, at capacity, and it's just constant pressure. You got to be able to provide constant pressure. And then even again, do I have a villager? I have a settler in there. Look at him go. Settler doing settler things. So we're over here fighting, and again, against a Hippias and stuff like that. The Soul Guide is here. Where is he? There he is. Soul Guide has 800 HP, which is absolutely ridiculous. But he can, when he touches enemy units, and he touches them with his staff, it deals so much damage. So much damage. So my Ocelot Warrior team over here is just chipping away at everything. I have them trying to hunt down this Chimera, which I didn't know where he necessarily was going. I had 2 more Soul Guides going back through. I'm getting the champion, Touch of Misfortune. It's such a swing, right? And it's that constant pressure. He needed to be able to wall this off and defend his villagers better, I think was his problem. So he gets over here, and he waits, and it's like so close, and he just drops his Earthquake right there, damages everything, destroys a whole bunch of my houses, so now I'm behind on the cap, which was just more of a pain than anything, really. And that was just rude. I have Ocelot Warriors over on the far side attacking that. He is gold starved, right? I don't even know if does he have a market somewhere? He doesn't even have a market. Oh, I needed a market. There's a bunch of Toxicities over here, and I'm just like, all right, we just need to scale it back, just move it back a little. Ocelot Warriors are over here. Oh, there's the market. He did have one. I thought he did. But I lost a whole bunch of towns or houses right there, that was a decent play. I'll give it to him. Decent play. But I mean, the villager lead, I have twice the amount of villagers, nearly 3 times the economy, and I'm protecting all the gold mines that he has, right? The Ocelot Warriors are just jumping around, dealing crazy damage, crazy amounts of damage. And then he goes to take this attack. I have the Quetzamenton. I use a Purge, and I still had it, and all of his Toxicities, do they get out? I think a good portion, yeah, half of them get out. But again, like the Toxicities and the Purge, you can't spam just one unit. You got to have more. And the Soul Guide, the Soul Master, just blasts right through, pushing through on all sides. There's only so little that he can do because, I mean, he has decent gold now, but I've knocked out a lot of his unit producing buildings, and that's just going to be the GG. That's where we're going to call it. And I always like to point this out because this is so critically important that I found as you have won more matches, and I've been doing a lot better. Villager kills. You stifle their economy, you will win. It is that simple. You stifle the economy, you will get the win. I can't stress that enough. GG, well played.